1987 Stage Fright is my comfort zone. It's like I rubbed a magic lamp and the genie that came out was like, listen, don't even bother making a wish because I can tell exactly what you need, bud. Sometimes this channel is a bit less scaredy cats and a bit more sourpusses. Well, no more. I started this channel to celebrate horror, so from now on, we're going to be positive pickleses. And I'm going to start that off with today's movie, Stage Fright. I only knew one thing about Stage Fright before going in, and it was this. The movie does contextualize that image, but just barely. Watching this movie made me divert drastically from how I wanted to frame this video. Originally, I wanted to do this whole thing about how I was testing this newfound attitude of positivity by seeing if I could learn to appreciate Giallo movies, a subgenre I historically have not had the patience to really dive deep into. Giallo movies were a type of suspense mystery film made in Italy that were, more or less, the precursor to what we would today call slasher movies. It is a notoriously difficult subgenre to define. It was basically like trashy pulp novels as movies, hence the name. Giallo is Italian for yellow. Pulp novels in Italy had yellow covers. It's a whole thing. Usually there'd be a masked killer whose identity would be hidden until the end, not unlike so many ghost faces. One small problem with that approach is Stage Fright a Giallo movie? Because on the one hand, you do have the violent and creative killing shown from the voyeuristic perspective of the killer. That's a hallmark of the genre. But the killer's not a mystery. There's no mystery elements at all. It's definitely more horror than suspense, and I don't give a shit whatsoever about outlining the boundaries of what genre does or does not contain, because oh my god, that would be so tedious. And if I called Stage Fright a Giallo movie for sure, that would be all the comment section was about. Many people would take issue with me classifying Giallo movies even as a genre. They would argue that they are better understood as something between a genre and a fixed canon of films, unique to one time and place, from specific directors like Mario Bava and Dario Argento. Point of order though, Stage Fright is directed by Argento's longtime collaborator and protege, Michele Soavi. So, rather than look at this as an exercise in appreciating Giallo, a concept so muddied that even the Wikipedia article notes that critics disagree about what does and does not count as it, I will instead concede that even if we can safely agree Stage Fright is Giallo, and I would say that we can, I watched it in the Giallo collection on Shudder, certainly not typical of the genre, or typical of anything for that matter, because it's pants on head bonkers. It is pure, uncut, campy, over-the-top melodramatic horror in a way that only the 80s can deliver. You see, I wanted to highlight my new positive attitude, but I picked a movie that I couldn't possibly be negative about. Brings me nothing but joy. The whole framing has to go out the window.
Hey, Mildo, does that positive attitude extend to everything, like, me? Bobby Duke?
Sure, man. What's up?
Well, I don't know how to tell you this, but,
I was looking at your pogs. Bobby.
I know, you told me not to look at your pogs because they was too fragile, and I messed up, Mildo, I messed up real bad.
Tell me what happened.
I got a bit excited, and I spilled my Diet Mountain Dew, and I ruined all your pogs. I didn't want to tell you because I was worried you think I wasn't the star of the channel anymore.
Bobby, it's just pogs. We can replace pogs, okay?
But how are we going to afford that, Mildew? We don't got pog money.
We'll just do what we always do when we need money, okay? We'll sell out.
Yeah?
Yeah, buddy. This video is brought to you by Helix Sleep. Who are these Helix Sleep people I keep hearing about? Well, let me tell you. They make premium mattresses and bedding, and it's all customized to fit your particular needs. Here's how it works. You go to the website, you take their sleep quiz. It's designed to figure out your body type and figure out what type of sleep style you got and other information, and then it jumbles that all up together and creates the perfect mattress for you. You got two people sleeping on this bed? Great! Take the quiz together. Maybe it'll make you grow even closer. Personally, I like to sleep on my side because if I don't, I get sleep apnea, baby. Also, I require a certain degree of firmness because my back is a bag of loose doorknobs. And I've been sleeping on this dang thing for 3 months. Every night I sleep upon it. And I haven't had a problem with my back that whole time. Each day I'm getting stronger. Then they send you this little box and you're like, what's in this little box? And it's the mattress, you knucklehead. You ordered it. You should know. They're not going to send you something you didn't order. Grow up. Helix matched me with this Twilight Luxe mattress, and it feels so friggin' soft, and you just sink right into it, but it still gives you all of the support you crave. Guess what, dummy? They got a 100-night sleep trial, along with a 10-year warranty, and there are financing options and flexible payment plans if that type of thing is your bag, baby. What are you afraid of? You have 3 months to try out this dang mattress, and if you don't like it, they'll come and take it away for you for free, so you can sleep easy. So what are you waiting for? Go to helixsleep.com/scaredycats for up to $200 off your Helix Sleep mattress, plus 2 free pillows. Research shows that most people sleep on beds, and if that's you, Helix Sleep is the right mattress for the job. Okay, now the ad's over, and the rest of the video, it will be normal.
So you're not mad?
I'm not thrilled that you were messing with my stuff, but I appreciate that you told me the truth, and for the record, you will always be the star of the channel.
Thanks, bro. I love you, bro.
I love you too, Bobby. I love you so much.
I love you so much, bro. Like, for real, bro. I love you, bro.
For real, Bobby. I love you. I love you.
I love you, bro.
I love you.
I love you, bro. I love you so much.
I love you. Stage Fright, directed by some Italian guy and starring a bunch of Italians, tells the story of a merry troupe of actors putting on the world's most inscrutable play. They describe it as a, quote, intellectual musical.
What sort of show is it?
It's a kind of intellectual musical.
Interesting, I'm fascinated.
And it seems to be about a guy in an owl mask killing sex workers, but then one of the sex workers also sexually assaults the owl.
All right. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. But can you imagine the effect on the public? The victim who rapes her own murderer.
Anyway, during rehearsals, our leading lady, Alicia, twists her ankle and sneaks away from the play's belligerent director, Peter, to get it looked at by a doctor, with the help of costume designer Betty and floor manager Willie. 2 things to note here. 2 important things to remember. Alicia has an expensive watch, and Willie has a misbehaving cat named Lucifer. They will be important later. Because the ankle hospital is too far away, Betty and Alicia drive to an asylum for murder maniacs. Because, you know, mental hospitals have doctors too, right? So that makes sense. While there, they happen to notice one of the patients is Irving Wallace, the actor who went mad and killed a bunch of people and nobody knows why. They go back to the set and Peter fires Alicia for leaving because he's an enormous dick. Betty's off for the night, so she gets in her car and then... Never been a big fan of cat jump scares. That's not a very creative way to scare the audience. More importantly, how'd the cat get in the car? She didn't bring it in. Anyway, Betty gets doinked in the head with a pickaxe by Irving Wallace, who followed them back to the set, and then Alicia finds her, and everybody's upset about Betty getting doinked except Peter, who decides to use it for publicity, and changes the owl killer in their play to be Irving Wallace for some reason, but still in an owl mask, so go figure. That was a lot of information I just dropped on you. One detail I would like to circle back to: where did Irving Wallace get a pickaxe? Did he stop by the old mine on his way back from the asylum to the theater? What kind of town are these people living in? One that's entirely comprised of interesting settings for horror movies? Okay, and one more thing. We have established that Lucifer the cat is in Betty's car. Nobody let the cat out of the car the last time we see Lucifer in the car. In a closed car, okay? Peter tells this lady, Corinne, to lock the doors to the soundstage and hide the key. All around, great decision making on Pete's part. Also, Alicia's unfired now. Cool. Unfortunately, Peter's brilliant scheme to trap his actors in a studio and force them to rehearse against their will the same night they found their friend having been gruesomely murdered by a maniac who's still on the loose, goes wrong if you can believe it, and Corinne is killed by Irving Wallace, who decides he likes the owl mask and that's his thing now. The rest of the movie is, as you would expect, a Scooby-Doo style series of chases between key locations as the remaining cast members struggle to stay alive and undoinked. Irving kills the rich pervert who tries to bribe him into not killing him, kinda based to be honest. He drills through a door with a drill that he found in the workshop, and he kills Danny, who is an important character because he was Peter's assistant or something. I don't know. So everybody's like, hey, fuck this. Let's fucking get this guy. This sucks. They find him up in the rafters, so they chase him. Inexplicably, while climbing to the rafters, Alicia grabs this other lady named Laurel and is like, "Don't go without me," while they're on the ladder together. What the fuck are you doing, Alicia? You're like a foot behind her. She's not going, she can't. What? So Laurel kicks Alicia and knocks her off the ladder, and the movie clearly frames this as a cowardly and selfish act by Laurel, but like, I don't know. Maybe don't grab people's legs and scream at them in high-stress situations, Alicia. So Alicia gets doinked on the head and she passes out, and the others trap the killer and axe him in the guts, killing him instantly. Except, oops, it was another guy. Haha! You're a murderer, Peter, you idiot, and Wallace is still alive! Speaking of Wallace, he super shredders through the floor and grabs this lady, Sybil, who I didn't mention it earlier, but so you know, she's pregnant, so she's definitely gonna eat it, right? She's not the main character, and she has a speech about her hopes and dreams for her new life with the baby and her boyfriend Mark, so.
But we'll make it, you'll see. And we're going to be rich and famous, with our names up in lights 10 feet high.
All three of us.
She's about as fucked as you can possibly get in a horror movie. Mark is like, "I don't think so, buddy. That's my girlfriend. Give her back." Displaying the wisdom of Solomon, Wallace cuts Sybil in two halves, and they each get one, so I guess neither of these guys were Sybil's true mother. So Mark's like, "Okay, nobody cuts my girlfriend in half," and he jumps down in the hole to get Wallace, who he knows has a chainsaw. So you pretty much can guess how that goes. At this point, Peter's like, "Fighting's not going great. Let's go with plan B." And he runs back downstairs to chop at the door in futility with a big axe. Then Wallace comes around and he chops him up. That's a wrap on Peter. Towards the middle there, it did seem like he was gonna have some character growth, but then he decided not to. Alicia wakes up and she's like, "Yo, where is everybody? There were a bunch of people here, and then I got doinked, and now there's nobody." She finds most of Laurel in the showers, but narrowly escapes an encounter with Wallace, who's come to finish Laurel off. So then she loots some other rooms in the theater and gets some key items, like the key ring and a gun. None of the keys work though. The real key is in this beautiful corpse tableau that Wallace has made. This is his design. And okay, so the cat can just teleport, because that's the only explanation that makes sense to me. It teleported into the car, and now it seems out of the car as well. Alicia gets that special key by going underneath the stage, but then gets grabbed by the ghoulies. The gun won't fire, but luckily, there's a bunch of loose nails everywhere. Luckily for stabbing owls, not for OSHA standards. Alicia runs key first across the room, but doesn't quite make it, so she has to flee up to the rafters again. Even though she has a fucked up ankle, which was a big plot point earlier, don't worry about it. She manages to knock Owlman off of the rafters onto the ground, killing him instantly. She goes to leave, but oh no, he's alive! So she lights him on fire, killing him instantly, because Alicia and Owlman are very alike.
There is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
During the scuffle though, Alicia loses her special expensive watch. That's right, remember the watch? The watch from earlier? The watch that is very expensive and important to Alicia? That watch? I hope so, because the rest of the movie, very watch heavy. The next day, she has to go back to get that special watch. Willie lets her in and wants to make sure she absolutely understands one crucial piece of information. That gun, the gun she had, it was loaded.
That gun you found wasn't empty, you know. It was loaded, all right, only you forgot to take the safety off.
She just didn't turn the safety off.
That gun's a cannon. I would have blown his head off with it. You can bet your bottom dollar I'd have got him right between the eyes.
If you want to shoot a guy, it'll kill a guy. If you could shoot him between the eyes, and that would kill him.
You could have handled that gun. That gun shoots by itself. You just have to know to remove the safety.
But the safety was on.
But you didn't put a bullet in the chamber.
The safety was on the gun, but it would work. Has everybody got that? She finds her special watch, but wait a minute. Willie said the newspaper said there were 8 bodies, where there should be 9 if you include Wallace's body. Oh no, Wallace is still alive. Luckily, Willie immediately doinks Wallace through the brain with the gun, killing him instantly, and then just loses his fucking mind, repeating the same 2 sentences over and over and over.
Just like I said, right between the eyes. See that eye? Right between the eyes. Right between the eyes, Ellie. Right between the eyes. Right between the eyes, Ellie. Just like I said. Right between the eyes.
I seriously cannot stress how long this sequence goes. Alicia's special watch is now broken, and that seems to finally send her over the edge, and she stumbles out into the daylight all dazed, just traumatized from this horrible experience. Not the corpse tableau of all of her friends, that didn't do it, it was breaking the expensive watch. We close on Wallace's face, and then he smiles a little. Oh no, Wallace is alive! It is impossible that they did not mean for this to be funny. Look at this face. Look at him. What do you have to be happy about, Irving? You've had a pretty fucked up day, all things considered. So should you watch Stage Fright? Probably the answer I should give is that it'll depend on your tolerance for Italian-specific nonsense. Old Italian movies have a very particular flavor, owing largely to the way that they add all sound in post so that the actors can just speak whatever language on set. So like, all of the dialogue sounds weird and off, and they just get whatever voice actors they can get to dub it over, and it always sounds really bad.
Don't you think I look a little like James Dean?
Sure, and I look like Marlon Brando.
There will be no abortion this time. I don't want you to.
I just saw a middle door with bars. Who's in there?
Irving Wallace.
Irving Wallace? You mean that actor who went berserk?
The same. We're keeping him here while the court reviews his case.
Also, it's horny. It's so horny in a way that is leering and off-putting to people that aren't weird little freaks. Also, the violence is treated like a spectacle, like it kind of revels in the violence. And again, if you're not a weird little freak with a profound level of emotional damage like me, that might not be pleasant for you, but I love it, yum yum. But oh God, I haven't even talked about the soundtrack. You know when like Weird Al or Bo Burnham, two artists that I think are pretty much the same thing, they make a pastiche of a style of music, but it somehow unironically slaps while simultaneously ironically slapping? That's this. That's what this is. It's just synths, saxophones, spooky discordant notes. It's got it all. You know how people say that New York is a character in some movies? The soundtrack is a character in Stage Fright. And it's the best character. Just listen to some of these sounds. There's a delirious, dreamlike tone to Stage Fright. It's somewhat of a cliche to say that a movie is dreamlike, but Stage Fright is like an actual dream. It's obtuse, nonsensical, and barely connected moment to moment. Everything is a little bigger, a little broader than reality, kind of like a stage play. Unlike a stage play, however, the performances and story do not matter. None of them are bad or distracting, except for some of the dubbed lines, but those are pleasantly distracting. It's all just an excuse to do some cool shots. Sure, the owl's just gonna throw feathers around for some reason, because we want the ending to be ethereal and graceful. There's pounding rain outside, and you hear it throughout the entire theater for the whole movie. That just makes everything feel claustrophobic, and it makes sense, because why would a theater have any sort of soundproofing? Hey, this theater workshop would obviously have a fucking chainsaw, right? Like, what if you need to build a set and there's a tree in the way? If you're looking for something surreal and hauntingly beautiful with a playful ambivalence towards reality, and you can overlook some of the rough edges that come along with this kind of production, Stage Fright might be right up your alley. That's the answer I should give. But the actual answer is, fuck you. Why aren't you watching it already? Why are you not watching this when you could be watching it? Like and subscribe to Stage Fright, not to me. Meldo, look, I had a pog made for us. I love you, bro. I love you too, bro.
Right between the eyes. See that, Allie? I got it right between the eyes, Allie. Right between the eyes, Allie. Just like I said. Right between the eyes. Right between the eyes. See that, Allie? I got it right between the eyes, Allie. Right between the eyes, Allie. Just like I said. Right between the eyes.